I don't think there's any other team that I'm actually that impressed with in
the
Europe
rest,
right now.
We can get to the others now. What we'll do is we'll leave that to the end, because actually that's a good team to talk about. Let's talk about the other ones, because all the rest of them are either hopeless. Like, I'm just going to say it right now, Dom. I don't care whether they lose or win these series. Like, Mad Lions and fucking Team Heretics aren't going to be going to the best of 5 part of the tournament. Like, that's not happening. Like, even if they win this next series, like, these teams are irrelevant. After that, you can maybe say, like, who knows what Vitality can do. So pick one of those. Which one do you want to go with? Mad Lions or Team Heretics or Vitality? Which of the 3 do you want to start on?
Let's talk about Mad Lions.
Let's do it.
Because I've obviously went to war with the Spanish over this team for months now. And let's just talk about this, because we haven't even been able to discuss this because I haven't been on the show. But the idea of Mad Lions, like what I originally said that triggered all the Spanish fans, where I was where I said the lineup looks like shit. Obviously, in comparison to the lineup they just had. So yes, exactly. They were a team that was top 2, top 3 throughout the entire fucking year. They were the only team outside of G2 that actually won a split. They had Niski, Karzi, Hillsong, Chasey on this team. Those are the players that were removed. In what world is this lineup better than the other lineup? And what people always tell you, it's like, yeah, but it's like a rookie lineup. It takes time to develop. You cannot tell me that Frisky will ever be better than Niski in LEC and have me believe you based off what I've seen. Like, I don't see why this guy would suddenly be one of the top mid laners in the LEC, just based off like his career. Like, no one gave him a shot before this, and I feel like the only reason that he's there is because he was on the Movistar Rider team that had the bot lane, the coach, and this mid lane coming in together, and he's part of like the collective group. This guy is nowhere close to as good. And when you watch Mad Lions, I think the biggest problem that I have is that the 2 weakest players, in my opinion, are the AD carry and the mid laner. And when in Europe does a team ever end up having any level of success where 2 of the worst players on the team, or the 2 worst players on the team, are mid and AD?
Even though I'm going to go with LCS for the example, dude, remember when they had last year's Team Liquid fucking one before APA, when it was Harry and Yorn? You couldn't do anything. If mid and AD suck, you cannot do anything. Because here's the maddest thing, Dom. This is where, it's a shame we hadn't talked about this before. Because you know the one that got me in trouble? It's not even Frisky, because the joke is even Mad Lions fans, because he's not Spanish, don't bother spamming about him. They just pretend he doesn't exist until one game he has 7 kills. And then they go, I told you he's good. And then they just shut up and go talk about the bot lane. But believe it or not, Tom, the one that's got me in trouble is the fucking ADC super. People keep telling me that I'm the one who can't see the game and he's like some top fucking prospect. Like, bro, go watch these games. Like, he's a bottom half ADC, if not like the 9th or 10th best ADC in the league. He's not a top ADC at all. Remember, fucking Upset is the one on Garmin Corp. Like, he's not a bomb, fucking comp. These aren't like dog shit players. This super guy, listen, I said it before, unless it's with Mad Lions as part of this core, I don't think he's going to in the future be an LEC player, mate. I think he's going to have a year or so, and then maybe someone else Spanish even replaces him. Like, I don't hate on him. I can see as a combo they're all right as a bot lane, but that support's way better in my opinion. I think he actually should be paired with a better ADC, mate. He looks good.
Yeah, I think Alvaro has been really impressive. I think he's been one of the best supports so far in LEC. But the issue that I have with them is, okay, if you think about the fact that they are bottom 4 in the playoffs right now, even if you consider Fnatic like strong, maybe they could be better. Maybe Mad Lions is better than Vitality. They could finish like an outside top 4. But why do people think that this team loses games? Because it seems like their early games are good. Their coordination is good. It's just mid to late game, their carries make mistakes. Even in games they win, their carries make really big mistakes. I mean, go look at the Fnatic game that they played at the end of regular season, where he just dies with Xyle and the whole game just like almost ends. Fnatic is literally ending the game on Nexus before they're able to, kill the whole team. And then they run back and end the game and kill the enemy team's Nexus. But if you watch how Supa plays, he makes a lot of pretty big mistakes. I mean, there was the game versus, I believe it was SK, earlier on in the split where he's playing Lucian. He literally just dashes directly into Renekton that's on a ward, dashes into melee range, gets like fucking one shot, and the whole fight is lost. This guy makes a lot of mistakes. I think Merwin is pretty good. Yeah, I think Elyoya and Alvaro are the best players on the team. But I think the carries aren't good enough to like even come close to winning a split of LEC.
Yeah, by the way, the actual joke of that, like you say, is if you actually just pick Mad Lions fans, those 2 players, top and support, you can actually brag. Like, you know what? I had no expectations for those players at all. And they actually are. Dude, they're upper half players. Like, I'm with you on the Alvaro one, definitely. And the Merwin guy, when he has his games and his champion pool, is fucking really interesting. Like, this guy actually, I can see why he's in LEC. The joke is these players maybe could be in another team, but why brag about the whole team? Why brag about all the players? Like, this is where, as a fan, you give away that you're just a fan. You just like them irrationally. You don't like them for specific. I only like people. Here's the thing, guys. Unless I have a personal connection, I only like players if they're good at the game. I don't. Why would I like players who are below average? I wouldn't, would I? And you said it right as well. They're doing the most unfair thing. If you're talking to analysts who view week to week and season to season, we have to judge them on what they had and what they could have had. So not only, Dom, do they not have the contender like they used to, but they could obviously have had a way better lineup. They right now could have this exact same team with Abadage mid. They could have this exact same team with fucking...
Imagine if Nisqy was just still on the team and Elyoya and Nisqy didn't have this like ridiculous beef together.
Or Crowny or fucking any of the AD6 could be there. A million of Neon. There's a million people. And by the way, wouldn't this team win games?
What if they just kept the same mid lane and AD carry?
You can still have 3 Spanish players, keep fucking AD, keep fucking top jungle and support, and just put a different mid and AD in, and we got a good team then. We could actually do something, guys.
I mean, I think if they just kept the same players, who is Carzzy and Nisqy in mid and AD, and they just added in Merwin and they added in Alvaro, I think they would have just been a better team.
Yeah.
Which is the players that they had, but they have this idea of consistency. And like, the other thing is these players get a lot of credit for showing up and being like better than rookies should be, I guess, macro-wise. But the whole idea of the team was that they should have had a massive advantage in that area because of the fact that they brought up the same coach with 3 players from the Movistar Riders team, and Elyoya has experience working with that coach before. So that was supposed to be one of the points of strength. And it feels like mid to late game, they do kind of have like ERL macro. They do kind of throw games mid to late game pretty consistently, even though they get a lot of early leads.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. To actually frame Mad Lions reasonably, I think everyone's been full of shit because you all started the split, people who said Mad Lions were going to be good, using the logic Dom just said of like, well, since they promoted most of the Movistar Riders and their coach, they will start with pre-existing synergy. Well, then why are they so bad late game? Why have they, by the way, faded as the league's gone on? And I'm just going to say it right now. If they lose to fucking Giant X, then forget about this team, because if the first split's bad, in light of what you just said about their history, then why would the next split be better? Look, I'll give you the rookie angle. True. Rookie, maybe Super doesn't play as bad. But fundamentally, this team isn't going to suddenly level up. In fact, precisely because they've played together a million years, is actually the reason why, Dom, I actually was really, really out when I saw how bad the French players in Carmi Corp are. It's like, bro, you guys just played together for a year and you're this bad. Like, why would I have any hope you can improve it? Like, you've actually had a year to prep for this. There's other lineups are brand new and they're walking in the league and performing it. This is fucking dog shit.
I mean, you also have to understand that the season portion doesn't actually matter that much. Just because Mad Lions finished 1 game up on like Heretics, Vitality, and Giant X. I mean, they lost to Giant X in the last week. Yep. And if you look at Mad Lions games, I mean, they had the game just in the last week. Both of their wins could have easily been losses. They had the Fnatic game where they massively threw. Fnatic was literally like hitting the fucking Nexus. And then they had the game versus Vitality where Hilly played one of his worst Pyke games of all time, where he just ran it down, even though his team had a massive lead. So this team could have easily finished something like 3-6 and been solid in 8th place. I'm not convinced by what I saw in the season portion. So we'll see. I mean, they lost to Giant X when they played them the last week of the season. We'll see how they do it in a best of 3. I mean, I think they should be better than Giant X, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose. I think that's a pretty close series.
By the way, for people who aren't idiots, I'll just explain sort of what we mean when we colloquially make statements as analysts. So when we say, and everyone was saying this, well, you might not know this, guys, but we don't just casually read Reddit. We do it for our job. We actually try to like parse all the information in the community and get like a temperature check and see, like, for example, that's why I like to see what Peter Dunn thinks of a draft, and then I go and see what LS thinks of it, and then I'll see what Monty thinks. When you, as a fan, go, actually, everyone wasn't saying that. You're just dickhead Joe Blogs who could have been stood in a broom closet with fucking shades on, your eyes closed. How the fuck do I know what you've seen? And more importantly, I don't care. What you've saw and your friends and their opinion do not matter. You are here to listen to me and say in comments. So keep spitting them shit comments out in the chat on Francais. Right. See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.